Want to support the show and get free stuff while you do so? Go to patreon.com/thedallsofhorror for more information.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
Is everything going well with you?
Oh, yes. Renting out apartments by the dozen.
Well, I'm glad somebody's doing well.
You're not?
Not exactly. I haven't been able to get much sleep lately.
Oh, not the old priest.
No, it's the others.
The others.
Mr. Chazen in 4B, he keeps coming around. And those ladies downstairs really carry things a little bit too far. The Klotkin sisters, they are very strange. And that old Mrs. Clark, I don't know where she comes from. I don't know what apartment she lives in. But what really scared me, there was somebody upstairs walking back and forth last night. Just banging on some sort of metal or something. I couldn't get to sleep at all.
And this is what you wanted to see me about?
Yes.
My dear Miss Parker, aside from the priest, and now, of course, you, nobody has lived in that building for 3 years.
Allison is trying to maintain her independence in Brooklyn during the 70s when she finds her dream apartment that comes complete with ghost neighbors, cat birthday parties, and a creepy blind priest that lives upstairs. Will Allison be able to escape the clutches of the evil beings in her building? Or will she join the dead as a permanent fixture among them? Tonight we find out when the dolls discuss 1977's The Sentinel. And now, the Dolls of Horror.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Dolls of Horror podcast, the spot to feed your tormented addiction. I'm Summer.
And I'm Jamie.
Jamie.
Summer.
Clark's back.
Yay!
Clark. Boo.
It's been a while.
It feels like it's been forever, but has it
I
really? When
know.
was the last time you were with us?
No, I think it's only been like a month or two.
It feels like so much longer.
It does. Anyway, yeah, I can't even remember what we talked about, which is just crazy. Anyhow, you're back to play. We are talking about Jamie's pick, The Sentinel. What was this, 1977?
It was
It sure
77.
was.
77. Okay. Jamie, since this is your pick, we picked it because we've talked about it on the show a few times. So since this was your pick, when is the first time you've seen this movie?
Okay, so I first saw this bizarre little film, probably when I was like 18 or 19. So, before I turned Girl on Gore into an Instagram account and everything, it was a Blogspot blog at that time. And so this was a movie that one of my blogger friends was like, hey, you reviewed this one. And so that's it. I mean, it was like a blind recommendation basically from a fellow blogger. Watched it, wrote a little blog on it. I should have pulled it up to see what I said back then. But I did not. I did not study enough. But yeah, I really liked it. It's so weird. You know, I I was kind of curious what people had to say about this movie after we watched it or after I did my homework. And it seems like you're either in the camp of you think it's kind of like an underrated cult classic of the 70s, or you think it's a fucking disaster. That's basically the two like reviews that I've seen on this movie.
Well, let's see if you guys can sway me. So the first time I saw this movie was during COVID. It was a 2020 watch. It was on Tubi. I'm like, the 70s, cool, put it on. I was really bored.
Oh, it's slow.
I was so fucking bored. Henry went to sleep on it. I was bored, and I never watched it again. I'm like, okay, that was a movie. I didn't hate it. I was just, did not keep me. Was this an hour and a half? It felt like 2, right?
I give you that. It's a very slow-paced movie. Very.
I seriously thought this was a 2-hour movie until I read the runtime.
Mhm.
I went, oh, I guess not. So that was the first time I watched it. I wasn't sure when we decided to do this movie even if I had seen it before.
Yeah, it was all like a weird fever dream.
It was.
Long fever dream.
So when I started it and I saw the cake orgy, I
Oh my
said,
gosh.
this is
That'll give
definitely
it
the
away.
movie I saw in 2020.
Yeah,
You
that'll
don't
stay in your
get-
mind.
You
I
don't get a
know.
cake orgy very often,
You really don't. my list of cake orgy movies is quite small.
Oh, yeah. What about you, Clark?
I watched this for the first time, I think, 2 days ago.
There
And I've
you
only
go.
seen it once. I watched it the one time.
Okay, so for those of you who have not seen 1977's The Sentinel, here is the synopsis. Spoilers up the wazoo on this one.
Yes, many spoilers ahead.
A young woman moves into an apartment building which houses a sinister evil, among other things. This had a very Rosemary's Baby feel, did it not? For me, it did.
Honestly, like when this movie came out, like a lot of the criticisms were like, because it got some pretty bad reviews when it came out, and people were like, this is kind of like a bad parody of like Rosemary's Baby, but not as good. Yeah.
I wonder when the book came out.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about the book, to be honest. I didn't even know there was a book until this morning, and I was like, oh, okay, it was a book.
I think it was
Wonder
actually a
what that was
trilogy.
like.
I read there was 3 books in the Sentinel series.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't know it. I
don't
didn't
know about
that.
that.
I didn't know about that until this morning, so I didn't do my proper research on that. Anyhow, okay, this one, the screenplay is written and the movie is directed by Michael Winner, who did Death Wish. Now, Michael passed in 2013, so about 10 years ago we lost him. The novel is written by Jeffrey Konvitz, and it stars, oh my God, it stars so many people. Chris Sarandon, Martin Balsam, we have Christina Rains, we have a slew. I can't even say their cameos because these people weren't famous yet.
I know.
True.
A slew of actors right before they hit it big. Insane. Absolutely insane, right?
Yeah, some of these actors are like, they have like almost 0 lines. Some of them do, and you're like, wow, it's like Christopher Walken, but he's just kind of standing there most of the time.
I was wondering when he was going to get to talk.
Or I'm like, Mrs. Griswold, oh my gosh.
Who didn't talk at all.
I know, no, she did
We
not.
have another Griswold in here, not Griswold, but William Hickey was in Christmas Vacation,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so many people in this movie before they got famous. So I can't even call it a cameo. This is just they got a movie. Insane. So I just looked it up. The Sentinel book was written in 1974.
Okay, so a few years before the movie.
I'm not sure when the Rosemary's Baby book came out. I think that one was like a quick one. It came out and then the movie was made, kind of like Psycho,
Okay.
if I recall. And the Rosemary, I wonder how close the Sentinel book is to the movie, because the Rosemary's Baby book is exactly like the movie. It is basically
Oh.
a play-by-play,
Never read
100%.
it.
Yeah, I read it. It's short. I don't know how it's like. It's a baby book.
Oh.
It's shorter than Psycho.
Oh, baby.
I read it a few years ago, and it was every single scene, all the dialogue, exactly like the movie.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, you don't even need to read the book. There's no differences.
Wow.
So, yeah, they did a perfect adaptation of Rosemary's Baby. Okay, so let's start with our favorite kill.
Why would he want to kill his own girlfriend?
There's always some stupid bullshit reason to kill your girlfriend.
How about you, Clark?
So I'm gonna be completely upfront and honest with this. I just wanted to jump on and talk with you guys, but I didn't take the best notes.
Okay, now I will tell you, even though I like this movie, I have no idea what the story is, to be honest. I have so many questions. I'm like, wait, because then that happened, and wait, why did he? Never mind.
And
So
I
don't worry
was
about it.
I watched it the one time, and I was only halfway paying attention because I was also making a tattoo for somebody, like a picture for it.
I'm next, by the way. I almost got
Okay.
a tattoo recently because it was a flash sale on Friday the 13th, and it was a cute little Jason. I almost got it, but then I was like, no, I need to have Clark draw me
Aw.
something to get done.
Yeah, that'd be
Anyway,
awesome.
favorite kill.
You need to have Clark draw your Frankenhooker.
Oh, I could. That'd be fun.
Could you really? We should
Yeah.
talk. Okay.
Clark
We
will,
need to talk
will
about
rock that design. Seriously. Clark, give her a Frankenhooker tat.
A Frankie Hookie.
Please. Yes, Frankie Hookie.
We've talked about it on the show that she needs a Frankenhooker tattoo.
I
so
do.
what better?
Exactly.
So if I'm gonna say my favorite kill, it's kind of like cop out because it's like a re-kill because her dad already died, but then when he comes back looking like a crusty, musty old zombie who's all naked and gross, and then she like stabs him a bunch and like his eye comes out, she like and it like pops and it's just lovely.
I know. It's so good. I mean, it's really like it's not like a kill heavy movie,
It's
you
not.
know?
No.
And again, it's like a re-kill, but that's my favorite too. It's pretty gross and like fun and you're like, "Oh, I do wish there was a little bit more of that kind of action in this movie because that was cool." But I love all the gross eye and the blood.
I figured you'd like it because they were kind of reminding me of very like Argento or something.
Yeah. And it's like this movie has a lot of like style to it, like the clothes and the way it's shot is pretty, but yeah, it's very slow and it's moody, but not a
Yes.
lot happens other than cat orgies and Mr. Oswald and cat birthday parties and anything else you can throw at it. Some religious shit.
Oh my god. I will be perfectly honest. I did not take the best notes either, and I watched it 3 times.
Oh no.
I struggled hard on this movie as far as paying attention. I'm like, oh, someone liked my picture on Facebook. Oh, I need to message Clark about something not very important because anything is better than paying attention right now to this movie.
Squirrel.
Right?
Oh, there's some really cute dog reel of Jimmy and Clarence on Instagram. Gotta watch that. It's new. Anyway, so that's where I was on my homework. But I must say, does this even count? I chose all the ghost tenants at the end when they're descending back to hell. I
That
loved it.
counts.
Sure, why not?
I loved
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's kind of a group kill. They're already dead. Doesn't really count like Clark's, but I really love the scene. The cinematography in that scene was beautiful. The effects in that scene were pretty good too. Honorable mention though, my panic pick before I decided on that was Chris Sarandon's character when he gets the knife thrown to the neck. That was pretty rad.
It was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
The effects were pretty good on that though. Like I was wondering, do you think some of those people were actually disfigured?
They were.
Okay.
Yeah, I read about that. Some of them were. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, fashion moment. So many looks. Yeah, looks. Okay, fashion is one where I did not struggle at
There
all.
was a lot.
Okay, what you got, Jamie?
Okay, I mean, I had multiple ones, of course, but I will say that like I think my favorite look of all is it's towards the beginning when she's still like modeling a bunch of stuff, right? And it's like she's got this like little black, it's kind of like a mini dress, but it's got like red fringe or something, or like frill or something. It's at the top. I think there's some at the bottom too, and then she's just wearing some nice like nylons and heels, and it's a very cute dress, and I love it.
She's super cute.
Yes. That's my favorite, but I also like the moment with the 4 girls in the bikinis at the beginning. Yes. there's like a silver one, there's a blue one. I think there's like 3 one pieces and 1 like 2 piece, and they were really cute.
Yeah.
So I liked that too.
We knew who the hoochie was.
Yes.
Clark?
So this movie was a lot of like high-waisted pants and bell bottoms.
Yeah.
But I will say my favorite fashion moment of this, I'm just gonna say everybody was fucking skinny. Like I blame fast food for like my weight and stuff like that, but like I didn't see like one like except for like maybe the cake orgy person, one really
Yes.
robust person.
Yeah.
Well, it
No,
was
that's a good observation. It's
it
true.
was the Twiggy era. It was 10 years
Right.
after the Twiggy era, so Thin as In was in full swing.
Yeah.
I just think fast food probably wasn't as prevalent too.
True.
Yeah.
I think fast food was probably cleaner too at the time, like because even some of the
Less
fast places,
preserves.
they were still making stuff fairly like fresh-ish. So even the fast food wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
I want to say too, I heard back in the day like a adult sized meal was like a kid's meal now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's all I
can see
need.
that.
Honestly, I don't need all that when I get to fast food. I either get a full-sized hamburger and nothing else, like for, McDonald's, for example, or I get a kid's meal, a small burger, small fry. And anything more than that is just too much, which is crazy because if I'm eating real food, if I'm eating at a restaurant or something that's not super processed, I can eat until I'm under the table. I can I can eat myself to death. I out ate Henry when we went to steakhouses all the damn time, and he just sat back and looked at me in judgment. Leave me alone.
Out eating at a like 6 foot something brother.
Right, like he just stared at me and said, "What the fuck?" And he was like, "Guys, this is why summer's fat, okay?" But fast food that's super processed, greasy, doesn't quite tastes delicious, but doesn't quite taste right. Food, I can't have a lot of that. I just feel disgusting afterwards. I just can't. Okay, my fashion moment, my winner. I had 5 picks, but my winner goes to Jezebel the cat in her party hat.
I love Jezebel the cat. I mean, a cat party. Come on.
I was all about Jezebel the cat in her party hat. She was so pretty. Oh, do you want to give our honorables, Jamie?
Yeah. Did you give yours yet, Clark?
I didn't have any.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'm not big on 70s fashion, so
Yeah.
See, I love 70s fashion. I have to say, I really liked my only other thing that I wrote down. There were other looks I liked, but I really liked the red leotard and skirt outfit that Beverly D'Angelo was wearing.
I really like Christina's black funeral dress. I have problem with the names on this one, so I'm going back and forth between their characters and their actor names. So her black funeral dress towards the beginning was so beautiful and it looked great on her, of course, because she is skinny. I adored Chris Sarandon's white suit with the tie. Oh my god. Oh, I was like, that almost won. If it wasn't for Jezebel, that would have been my winner. And at one point in the movie, one specific bell-bottom look, Christina is wearing these blue jeans, bell-bottoms great, of course, and a blue top, and it looked great on her. And last but not least, her commercial outfit when she keeps getting the bottle of wine scene wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Poor girl. Poor girl.
I know.
Okay, best hair.
How's my hair?
Hurricane proof.
Hey, it's all about the hair.
I got not a thing, so I'm just gonna go with Beverly D'Angelo's hair was pretty good. I didn't write a thing down. I failed, you guys.
Fail.
Sorry.
Fail. I liked Baby Watkins all slicked back. He had his hair all slicked back. There's like the secretary who pops up for very short, and she's got the curly hair, and I loved her. Yeah, those are the two that I noticed.
She was cute. I picked her too, and then I also picked our main girl. What's her name again? Allison, right?
Yes.
So it was during her flashback scene with a cake orgy. She had longer hair, and she came in looking like Miss Bitch, like walking down. I was like, yes, But then she like gave up really quickly, and I was just like, so you see something gross, you want to go kill yourself, okay?
I know, you're like, come on.
I was expecting like fierce, yes. Give them like Sarah Michelle Gellar and Cruel Intentions.
I know. I was like, the fuck?
I know.
That's a little of an extreme reaction. She was already not quite right in the head on that one.
Right.
It's like, it's just a cake orgy with your dad. Like, come on.
Horrifying, of course.
Yeah.
But not suicide worthy, in my opinion.
I could see maybe if he like slapped her with his like hangy balls or something like that, but
I know.
It's just like,
can't live anymore. Yeah.
Prop we would like to own.
I brought something out from my tree. Where did you get that?
I had a list.
Let's get some of them.
I have 5.
Okay.
I have 2, so
let's let Clark go first with his 2, and then Jamie and I, we can just bounce.
Ew. No, I'm kidding.
Who said?
So my first one is like, I think the ring is pretty cool. Like the priests were all wearing. Are they priests? What are they? Clergy.
I think they're priests. They're priest sentinels.
Right.
Religious shit.
Priests with like, the special assignments.
Yes.
Yes. It'd be like one of those like Wonder Twins kind of rings, like woo.
Yes, they put them all together and they're like, okay, go.
And Jesus like comes. It's like, with your powers combined, I am reborn. So that, and then the only other thing that I kind of really got was the key ring, this massive key ring with like 100 rings on it. And I was like, okay, this harkens back to like the Bring It On days when I wanted like this key ring with like 1,000,000 keys on it, not knowing how bad it's for your ignition.
I know, right?
More keys mean more importance.
Right, exactly.
Keys stress me out so much, guys. I just have to say, like, that is the one like struggle I have every single day. It's like I can never figure out which key it is on my key ring ever.
You'd be one of those people in the horror movies that were going through every single key, like, I can't get it.
It's definitely how I would die in a horror movie.
I saw that reel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I also had the ring, by the way.
Cool.
But what I would love most of all is the apartment building. Sorry, guys.
It was pretty beautiful building. Like, it was
stunning.
creepy,
only
but
$400 a month.
Yeah, I know, right? And it was huge. It was like a whole floor. I know.
Yes, in New York, golly.
Yeah,
amazing.
I know it was 1977, but I still feel like $400 for that was a steal.
Yeah, well, it was originally 5, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and then she's like 4, you know.
I'm like, you went down a whole 100?
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I said 4 the whole time. You're crazy.
Yes. She was crazy, and I loved her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jamie.
Okay. I think what I would like most of all, well, I know I can't have it because it's not a prop, but I would like Jezebel. Just gonna put it out there. Jezebel was so cute, and then it got all mean. You know, it was like eating something, and then it like growled at her, and I'm like, Jezebel. Okay, but
Jezebel is dead by now.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I do really want Allison's lookbook though. Like she has her book of all her photos, all her looks. The America's Next Top Model fan in me was like, oh my god, I need that. So that's what I would like most of all. But I'll also take her Esquire cover, you know, that she buys.
Yeah.
She's like on the cover of it. And I'll take the mugshots of the dream murdered neighbors.
I also had the dream murder neighbors in my they were like index cards. I want those index cards, right?
Like, I was like, I don't know if mugshot's the right word for them, but yeah, index cards.
They were. It was, you know, a mugshot in a rap sheet on this card, right?
Sorry, I just saw that cat butthole.
Yeah. Referring to Nina, not the movie. Okay, so I want those, of course. I want the record player.
Oh, okay.
There's a painting in that final showdown scene of a nun holding like a crucifix. That would be cool. Even I'm not even Catholic, but I liked it. When Chris Sarandon breaks down the wall and reads what's on the plaque behind the wall. The "Through me, you go into the city of grief" plaque. I would love that.
Good one. I didn't even think of that.
The
Reminded me of like
Sentinel.
the Paris catacombs a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's exactly the kind of stuff I saw down there. It was pretty amazing.
Wow.
And the Sentinel's crucifix. You know, she's sitting there just holding it all her damn life now. That's
Yep.
what a
Forever.
bummer.
I know. Sometimes
What a
was
bleak
though.
ending.
I know. You went from being a model to a blind nun in a window. I think I'll stick with being a model.
With bad
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah, I know.
Last but not least, the framed picture of Burgess Meredith, because he was adorable. Always.
I know. I know.
I would have a framed picture of Burgess Meredith in my place no matter what, but it would be cool if it was that one.
I know, because he's got the little roses too. He's got like flowers.
Yes!
Oh, cute.
You know who he reminded me of? He reminded me of that either chance or community chest card on Monopoly. When the card reads, "You won a beauty pageant," and dude's holding roses. Do you guys know that card?
No.
I mean, kind of.
It just flashed on that. That's exactly what he looked like, minus the evil mustache.
Right?
100%. Okay, epic line.
Boy, the next word that comes out of your mouth better be some brilliant fucking Mark Twain shit, because it's definitely getting chiseled on your tombstone.
Okay, so Nina says, "We do not have any duplicates," which shocked the shit out of me.
Oh, nice.
So let's start with Clark.
Oh, of course, you're gonna give it to me.
You're the guest of honor.
I guess. So my first lines, actually, mine kind of came pretty early in the movie. My first two. The first one I have is a conversation between Michael Lerman and the agent that was showing him the apartment.
Say, are these the only closets for this room? What are you in, menswear wholesale? No, she's a model.
Are you in that line?
Modeling?
Well, you look kind of well-dressed.
I'm a lawyer.
Lawyers must spend pretty heavy on clothes, huh?
And to me, I was like, that's like a term. Like, is he asking if you're homo?
I know.
Basically.
A nice way of putting it, right?
Yeah.
My second line is gonna go to our main star whenever she's with Beverly D'Angelo and the lady who played, like, what's her name? Oh, gosh, she played the gypsy in it doesn't matter. Anyway, she's in an apartment talking to two lesbos. And then the one starts like gyrating and moaning, and she like leaves.
Going so soon?
It's rather rude to eat and run.
I didn't eat, I drank.
That's pretty good.
Oh my.
And my last one is just the detective room talk through, and they're going through all the pictures of the people.
She went to a party with 8 dead murderers.
Doesn't everybody?
So Nina lied to me because I put that as my winner, and that was my winner.
Oh, snap. Sorry. We had the same winner. Yay.
Yeah, that's the best line in the entire movie.
It reminded me of there was an American Horror Story, one of the seasons where it's like a whole bunch of serial killers in a hotel.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hotel, I
love
think it's
that
called.
scene.
Right?
I wonder if they saw this and were inspired by it, kind of like a dinner party with serial killers.
It's true.
Could be. That was the best dinner party ever. I loved all those serial killers because you knew exactly who each one was supposed to be. They did such a good job acting.
They did a
those
good
out.
job. Yeah.
Oh my god.
The Night Stalker was like, whoa, that's like him.
To be fair, when Clark sent me his lines, he only sent 2 words of the line. So
That is true.
and I'm panicking to get back to you. I'm like,
that was my winner, Nina. Come on.
I was in the treadmill at work at the gym, and I was just like trying to get them to her because it was so late.
it's fine. If it's that late, Clark, just send them to me the next morning. It'll be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes lately I've been so last minute on my homework. I'm like, I don't even have it done till an hour before recording.
Yeah.
So sorry, Nina. Trying to be better.
Be busy.
Okay, Jamie.
Okay. So mine were kind of earlier on in the movie, like completely like the first half hour kind of thing. Okay. So I really like it's the guy, I think he's showing them the apartment or something, and he says,
$1,000 a month is the least they'll take. Huh?
People lining up.
Look, I need more room. I want to get married.
Happy marriages are made in $1,000 a month apartments.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Not anymore.
I know, where I'm like, man, the money, the price of rent, it doesn't make sense in this movie, like at all. It just doesn't, but I love it. Okay. And then I like when the boyfriend, he's talking at the photo shoot where there's the dogs and everything.
Michael, hi. Always going just terrific. 2 Afghans are eating 6 peacocks.
And I like that. And then I just like when Allison says,
Believe it or not, I attended a birthday party here last night. For a cat.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed it.
I can actually see you saying that.
That's why I was like, oh my God, I could see myself saying that. Have I been in this situation before? Pretty close.
Oh man, so good, so good, guys.
If she said that to you, I would feel like you'd be like, did we just become best friends?
I know, exactly.
Oh yes,
we are like soulmates.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Okay, so since Clark stole my winner.
Your fault for picking me first.
True. My fault for being a good host.
Yes. With the hostess.
And Jamie, the $1,000 apartment happiness line was on my original list.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot to write it down.
I
saw it and I forgot to write it down, so I'm glad you mentioned it. Because I'm like, oh, this is enough. It's exactly where my brain was at during all of my homework. This is enough.
This will do.
This is sufficient.
I have an answer.
I already have my winner, and it's definitely not that, so I didn't care, but you got it, so that was great.
Good.
So my other two, my runner-ups, my first runner-up, my second is when she's apartment hunting.
How much is this one?
$600 a month. Save your money, marry Michael.
I mean, a sign of the times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't be independent, save your money, and get with your man. And my next line follows that, which is also a sign of her times, and that's when she's speaking with her mother.
Are you gonna be all right here, Mom?
It'll be no worse.
Well, then why didn't you stay with him?
I had nowhere to go.
Which those two were about 6 minutes apart from each other, and I thought that it set up her character and her mindset on why she's so determined to be independent for a little while before she gives it all up. So I really like those for those reasons.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all. It is time to talk about our actors, but before we do that, we need to take an ad break.
Now there's about 20 of them out there.
What will we do?
Don't worry, we're safe in here. They'll never get in.
Why is it that in every zombie story, people always think that their safe haven is invulnerable?
I know. It's like, hello, the walkers are totally gonna get in. You better get ready for it.
No! Diane, get behind me. No, it's not stopping.
Do something, Jack!
And another thing, how come nobody in a zombie story has ever seen a zombie story?
Do you know how much time in human life would be saved if just one person in the group was up on the genre?
What do we do?
Aim for the head.
What?
Aim for the head.
You heard them. Aim for the head.
Quick, Diane, I think we should try and fix the barricades.
I think we should listen to them.
Now, that's the first good idea they've had all episode.
I still don't think they're gonna make it.
Aim for the Head, a weekly podcast covering the hit AMC programs The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. Join hosts Diana and Steve as they recap and discuss the latest episodes. Aim for the Head, available on iTunes. You can also follow them on Facebook.
And now for acting.
You know every face in here. I gotta respect for the unknown actor.
Okay, so let's start off by mentioning in a list form, because it's going to take too long if we don't, all of our stars that were in this movie, which in some of these credits were uncredited because it was before they were famous.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy. It's like a drinking game. Like every person who pops up that you've seen in a million things.
Every
drunk
single
by the end.
every single time I was that Leonardo DiCaprio meme drinking the beer going, "Oh!"
Yeah, I know.
Every 5 minutes, that was me in this
I
movie.
know.
I missed most of these in my first 2020 viewing. As Clark said, I was what did you how did you phrase that? He put words to my distracted viewing habits.
Oh, I don't remember. But it was accurate.
That's why it was so great. That's why it was so great, because I was actually telling him that I did not see any of those people in my first viewing. How did I miss them? Some of these people I'm huge fans of. Anyhow, we've got Christopher Walken playing Detective Rizzo. He finally talks about, like, I don't know, an hour and 10 minutes in.
I know, and it's not much.
Richard Dreyfuss is the man on the sidewalk. No lines, uncredited.
I didn't even notice him, and then when I was going through the cast, I'm like, oh wait, and so I had to go back and see him.
Yeah. In the very beginning, it's in that weird like 6-minute montage we have. Like that's the weirdest credit sequence I've ever seen. But I digress. Jeff Goldblum, of course, is our photographer. Jack the photographer is who he is. We've got Tom Berenger and Nana Vistor, known then as Nana Tucker, as the couple buying the apartment at the end or renting it, whichever. Beverly D'Angelo, of course, plays Sandra, and Jerry Orbach is the film director.
I know.
What?
I know.
Oh my God. So yeah. I got one more, which I'm going to talk about at acting because he deserves it. Even though he was like uncredited, don't care. Okay. Starting with Chris Sarandon playing Michael Lerman, former husband of Susan Sarandon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Some people think that they are siblings. They were spouses. Let's rotate like we like to do now. Of course, Child's Play.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Fright Night.
Bordello of Blood.
Yes. He played the sleazy professor in Felicity.
I did not know this, but he was Jack Skellington in Nightmare Before Christmas. I
You
did not
didn't
know
know
that.
that?
The talking
No.
voice.
Yeah, the talking voice.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
Wow, I always knew that. That's insane. I thought
I
everyone
didn't
knew
know
that.
that. I
Crazy,
did.
right?
I just thought that was Jack Skellington.
It is. Also known as Chris Sarandon.
Right.
How about Fright Night, the remake? Who's seen that?
I have.
I haven't actually.
It was okay. It wasn't
Yeah.
the worst remake I've ever seen. It wasn't the best. Anything else for you all?
No, those are my highlights.
Those were my highlights too. He was in Princess Bride too, actually, but that's the only other one I had.
I have Charmed. He did ER. He did show Stark Raving Mad. Anyone remember that one?
I've heard it. I never watched it.
Oh yeah, I did. A movie of the week, A Murderous Affair with Virginia Madsen. I saw that during COVID too.
It
was
sounds
good.
awesome.
It was great. It was like 93 or something. It was very of the time, and I loved it.
Awesome.
Christina Rains playing Allison Parker. Oh, I most know her for Nashville, the movie Nashville with Ronnie Blakely.
I
I
saw
didn't really-
that, but I never watched it. But she's like one of those girls I was like, oh, she looks so familiar, but nothing.
Nothing for me either. But she looks familiar. I have no idea why, but she's very pretty. But yeah, I don't know her.
She kind of looks a little bit like that Charlie's Angels girl.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
That's
she
who she
does.
reminds me of.
Yeah.
I also have a movie called Nightmare from 1983. It's an anthology of urban legends. I also watched that during COVID. It used to be on Tubi. I'm not sure if it still is. It's definitely worth checking out, though.
Okay.
For sure. Alrighty. Martin Balsam playing Professor Rosinski. We just talked about him, Jamie, in Psycho, playing Detective Milton. So, since we already went through all of his credits there, do you have anything to add for him?
Nope. That was all I had, and I was like, oh, they just covered it, so I know they already talked about him.
Yes, we did. Okay. John Carradine playing Father Halloran. This dude had 353 credits going back to 1930.
All those all-time westerns.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Musicals, the whole thing. But, I mean, he did Silent Night, Bloody Night.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a movie with him called Vampire Hookers.
That sounds really fun.
It was interesting.
He was the voice of the owl in Secret of Nim.
Nice.
I love that movie.
He did a movie called Buried Alive, but it's not the one I know and love. It was actually made the same year, but it's not the same one, which is very confusing.
That reminds me of like those, because I used to work at Hollywood Video. Like back whenever there was a big title coming out, there's all these generic ones that would come out around the same time with a slightly changed title, so to confuse people to getting it.
Tricks them into picking it, yeah.
Basically.
Thing is, the one I love, you know, it was not the big one. It was not the big one that's easy to find. Okay.
Little story real fast though.
Yeah.
So back when Pirates of the Caribbean was big, there was like a porn knockoff called Pirates. And actually got pretty big. Like a lot of people have seen this one. And they carried it at my store, which was weird. They just cut out like all the hardcore stuff. So they made it softcore.
Sure.
But we had so many families like renting it, thinking it was Pirates of the Caribbean, and coming back like, I can't believe you have this. And it's like, did you not read the back? Do you not?
I know. It's like, what did you think it was? What did you think it was gonna happen?
Yes,
I worked in a movie.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, all of a sudden there's like these big busty women on the front, and you're like, yes, that's Johnny Depp's movie.
I know. When I worked at the movie theater, 40-Year-Old Virgin came out, right? And in my community that I grew up in, there's a big retirement community. So I had so many old people come out of that movie, and I knew the moments that they would come out. And they came out, and I'm like, did you think it was like a wholesome movie? Like, I mean, did you really think it was about a nice, like, 40-year-old virgin? And he's just like just good, clean fun. And it's like, so many people walked out of that one. I don't know what they were thinking they were getting into, but
people, man, they don't even read the descriptions or pay attention to the ratings.
No.
Yeah.
It's insane. Okay, then. I also got The Howling.
Oh yeah.
And Peggy Sue got married.
Yeah.
Shockwaves.
Yes. House of Dracula and House of Frankenstein.
Satan's Cheerleaders.
I want to see that. It looks fun.
Yeah.
This is not the first time Satan's Cheerleaders has come up for us, so it has to be seen.
We should do Satan's Cheerleaders.
Let's do it. Add to the list. Okay, 1936's Anything Goes.
That was all I wrote down for him, but he had like he was overwhelming.
My eyes were
yeah, I know.
over.
I went and then I was like, how many movies does he have? And I went all the way to the bottom and I'm like, since 1930?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna pick out the hits here, and then I was overwhelmed.
I only picked the ones I knew, the only ones I've seen, and I feel pretty sad that I have not seen them all. I mean, he was great. Okay, so Jose Ferrer is the robed figure, father of Miguel. Looks just like him. Oh my God. It's seeing him in this movie and then seeing, knowing what Miguel looked like is like insane. And Miguel's mother is Rosemary Clooney. So he was with Rosemary Clooney, which is awesome. Okay, then Dune for him.
I knew him from Bloody Birthday, and that was about it. That was the only thing I kind of jotted down for him.
Same.
I saw this about 14 years ago, kind of when I first moved into my first actual apartment out here. I rented it. Woody Allen's A Midsummer Night's Comedy.
Oh, I love Midsummer Night's Dream or whatever. I love that play. So
that's not what you're going to get with this movie.
The only time I've seen that movie or that kind of like storytelling is in this movie called, I think, Get Over It. They had like,
I've never seen that.
No, it's pretty funny how like Mila Kunis and Kristen Dunst in it and stuff like that.
I love them. Oh, I gotta check that out.
How did I miss this? It seems exactly like the kind of thing I would
You
have
guys
watched.
ever watched that Disney show Flash Forward with Tucker? Oh, so Tucker, that guy, he was the main person.
No.
Yeah.
I haven't thought of that show in ages, but yes.
Oh, and one last thing, he was in the Anne Margaret musical State Fair. Speaking of musicals, Ava Gardner playing Miss Logan. I mean, she is my favorite part about the 1951 adaptation of Showboat, playing Julie Laverne.
I feel so bad because like I know this name, like that she's iconic because this name is just mentioned so much when it comes to like the old starlets. I do not know a single thing she's in though.
The only thing I knew was Showboat, to be honest with you, really. And I was like, I know who she is, like her as a figure.
Yes.
And then her name and what she looks like, and that she was, a thing. And I'm like, how do I not know more of hers? I thought I was going to have a number of movies, and I don't. I'm sorry.
Same. I thought I would have tons. Turns out I just know Showboat, and it's my favorite version of Showboat, honestly. They've remade that a million times, and very important storytelling on that as well. But she was one of Frank Sinatra's wives. So there's that. That must be how I know her. She died at 67 years old back in 1990.
Aw.
She's been gone quite a while.
Yeah.
I swear I thought I knew her. Arthur Kennedy playing Monsignor Pancino. He had 122 credits. I didn't know any of them though.
Same.
Nope. Burgess Meredith. He lived a good long time. He lived till 89 years old, passing in 1997. My favorite Burgess Meredith thing of all time ever is Foul Play with Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase.
I haven't seen that. I haven't, like, that's a cast. I haven't seen that.
I've talked about this before, but that movie, it was a family favorite. Watched it ever since I was like a baby, probably. Can't even remember. It was in the 70s. It was my introduction to the Mikado. It was also my introduction to Dudley Moore because he was in it. And the whole last act of the movie takes place in this opera house, and the assassins are trying to kill them. And it's behind the scenes of the opera, Gilbert and Sullivan's The Mikado. The Mikado is a running theme in the whole thing. It starts off with the score from The Mikado. So maybe that's why I love that show so much, is because of this movie. But that was my intro to The Mikado. So it's a very, very special movie. He was in that. He was also a kooky neighbor. It was great. You got to watch it, Jamie. You will love it. It is your type of movie, I promise.
Oh, okay. I'll definitely add that to my huge list of movies to watch. He's another one. I thought I knew him more than I did. I knew him in a couple things. I mean, Grumpy Old Men is cute. And he's in that. I remember him from that.
And grumpier.
Burnt Offerings.
I like Burnt Offerings. It's a good movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How about
Other than that, I didn't really know him that.
The
I still
dummy
haven't
one?
seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Anthony Hopkins, right?
It's actually not so bad. It's pretty decent for the time.
They've been telling me to watch it. I need to watch it. They've both told me I need to watch it.
Yes.
I was interested. Like, it kept my interest.
Okay. I'll watch it.
It's a slow burn, but it's like a mystery, so you're trying to figure it out. That's good.
Okay.
Santa Claus the Movie, another family favorite with John Lithgow and Dudley Moore.
I don't think I've seen that.
No, I just seen the Tim Allen ones.
Same. Because I'm like, I know John Lithgow. I'd know it if I saw him in a Santa movie. I have not.
Dudley Moore is an elf who is shamed for trying to be more productive, and his toys start falling apart. It's a lot better than it sounds, guys. So he runs away from the North Pole and goes down to Earth and hooks up with John Lithgow, who is an evil toy maker, distributor, right? Greed is good type character. And it's good. Guys, you had to be there.
Yeah.
It's like 1985. It feels like 1985, but again, another family favorite. I watch it every year. Anything else? I got a couple more.
Go ahead.
The Manitou, which we're going to do soon with Billy. That was Billy's request. I bought this damn DVD so we could do it. So it has to happen.
What, the Manitou?
The Manitou.
I haven't seen that.
1970 something.
What does that even mean? I'm like, manta ray?
I'm imagining it as an animal. Yeah, like I'm thinking
Right.
of a manatee, I realize. I'm like seeing I'm seeing it moving in the water like with its flippers and I'm like, what is that? It's a manatee, right? Or I'm sorry, manatee. Close.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I haven't watched it yet, but I own it, so we got to do it. Just like I own this movie now. He was in Camp Nowhere also. And we've talked about this just in the last couple of weeks, Fairy Tale Theater. He was in the Thumbelina and of course the Rocky movies, which I think how most people remember him. All about the foul play for me. Okay, then Sylvia Miles playing Gertie. She lived until 94 years old.
Wow.
I know,
That
right?
gypsy blood.
Man. We lost her in 2019. I remember her from Wall Street and She Devil mostly.
She Devil, yeah.
And she was in the canon line of fairy tales, live action fairy tales, the Sleeping Beauty one, which starred Morgan Fairchild and Tawny Welch. Yeah. I have one more. Do you guys have anything?
The Fun House.
That's the one.
Yeah, the all-seeing gypsy hooker.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see that coming.
Madam Zelda. How come they're always named Zelda?
Was she Zelda or Xena?
I wrote Zelda. Maybe I got it
Mm.
wrong.
Maybe I got it wrong. Madame.
Yes.
Something with a Z.
Yeah.
Okay. Detective Gatz, played by Eli Wallach. He lived till 98. Crazy. See, for all you conspiracy theorists who are like, horror movies are evil, people who are in them are cursed. This one should be a cursed movie, but these people lived a long fucking time. Okay.
Well, maybe they lived cursed like the people at the end being all crusty old with the crucifix.
Just let me die. Okay, let's see here. He had 172 credits. I have Wall Street 2, Part 2, and The Holiday, and Whoopi, the sitcom with Whoopi Goldberg.
That was a fun one.
We talked about that, Clark, on your episode.
Mm-hmm.
On your what was the movie called? The gay movie? Hellbent.
Hellbent.
Yeah, we talked about that
Yes.
in that because someone was in that. Okay, what else do you guys have? Anything?
I had Mystic River.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. That and then the other things you mentioned, and that was it.
Alrighty, Hank Garrett playing Brenner. First and 10. All about the First and 10 for me. I was like, damn. I binged that show a couple years ago, and I think I need to binge it again because it was so entertaining. He was also the bartender in Amityville.
You can take it away because I think
Okay.
that was all the people that I wrote down. And then I just wrote down our little cameo people that we had.
Yeah, I just wrote down
non-cameo.
Beverly D'Angelo and Christopher Walken. Those are the only other two I had.
Alrighty. Well, Hank was also the conductor in The Exorcist Part 2, and that's my favorite Exorcist.
Really? You don't hear that very often. I didn't mind it. Like, people rag on it so much, and I was like,
They
this is
do.
whatever.
I don't know why
I
it's
like
my
part
favorite.
3 a lot.
I like Part 3 a lot too, but it's not my favorite. I think
Yeah.
Part 3 and Part 1 may actually be a tie for me. And yeah, you can send all hate mail to me. Don't care. But I love Part 2, probably because the whole tap number in the beginning. Not gonna lie, that might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
William Hickey playing Perry. He only lived to 69 years old, but of course he was in Christmas Vacation. He was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt. He was our original Toulon and Puppet Master.
Okay.
That's how I most remember him. It's Toulon, my favorite Toulon.
Could you imagine someone dying at 69 years old and being like, sweet?
Okay, thank you, Clark, because the thing that I was thinking in my head, and I was like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. And I was like,
Of course,
good
and here I say
number.
it.
Yeah.
Say it. Say it,
Thank you,
Jamie.
Clark. I was thinking it.
I would if I was dying at 69. I'd be like,
I do think it actually every time I write that down.
Yeah, I mean.
For him, we also have Wings, Tales from the Dark Side, the movie and the show. In the show, he was in the season 3 episode with Ed French. Jamie, if you don't remember, because it's been a couple of years, Ed French co-starred and was the special effects guy in Blood Rage.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It's not cranberry sauce.
Right? I can't wait to watch that again for the season.
I know,
And
me too.
Bright Lights Big City with our boy Charlie in it. I got 2 more here. I have got Reed Shelton as our priest. Also, First and 10. He played our lead in First and 10, the whole show. So that was really cool again.
So he was the first in 10.
hmm And then his last role was in 1991, and that was it, man. Last but not least, I spoke about this with Clark earlier. John Getz. Jamie, do you know who John Getz is?
Oh my god, I actually just talked about him and I was like, someone loves this guy.
I do
but
love this guy!
I'm spacing out on what it was that I was talking about.
Okay, well, in this movie, he goes uncredited. He is the guy at the commercial shoot who says it was out of focus. Okay. Jamie and most of our audience, you'll know him as Gus from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Slime ball.
Yeah.
I swear, when he popped in this time, I'm like, Gus! And then also we got American Horror Story season 8. He did The Social Network. He did Better Call Saul. He did the movie Jobs. He had a moment in our movie of the week with like Hunger Point, and he did Ned and Stacy. I love this actor. I have for the longest time. He did a TV movie, Awake to Danger, which I also really loved, and I might own on DVD, just saying. So this guy is amazing. When he popped onto the screen for all of 2 seconds, I freaked. I couldn't wait to talk about Mr. John Getz. So yeah. And he's still doing it today. He's still active acting, so that's pretty awesome.
Cool.
All right. Cinematography.
I've never seen anything like this before in my life.
Okay, our cinematographer on this one was pretty damn good. I have to say that's my favorite part about this movie is our cinematography. The shots were amazing. His name is Richard Cortina. He did the movie Awakenings with Robin Williams and Robert De Niro. He did the famed television show Batteries Not Included, Garbo Talks, Hair, and Love Story. So he has quite a variety of things in his resume, and those are just my highlights. Unfortunately, though, the only thing I really have in cinematography, I just wrote Cake Orgy. that really
That's in
got
my
me.
notes too. And it just comes right at you too. It's very like kind of unexpected, right? And you're like, whoa, there's cake, there's naked people, and they're not super pretty, but
It's like basically like, have you ever seen the intro for Tales from the Crypt when the Crypt Keeper pops out of the coffin? It's like he pops up and it's like, yes! As people are getting cake off of him.
Whoa.
That's who he reminds me of. That's it. That's the one.
It is.
Yep. Yeah. Guys, what do you got on cinematography?
You know, overall, I really liked the cinematography on this, but I didn't write a whole lot of notes about it. I will just say it had a pretty look about it, and they like played with perspectives and angles. I felt like so it'd be like low angles and be from different places, and I like how they like staged things. Kind of like there's a shot where like the boyfriend or whatever. And then there's the cop, and I think they're in the hospital when she's gone there. And he's like here in the foreground, and the guy's in the background, and they're talking. That looked really cool. I wrote hallway love. There's some good hallways, I suppose.
Yeah, there
and
are.
I wrote
Stairway hallways too.
Yes. And I wrote through the window shot.
I know. I know.
Was it the car, like the taxi?
Okay.
I think, and you look through the window?
Kind of. So what I'm thinking you might have meant, there were several perspective points of, our Sentinel before she becomes our Sentinel looking out the window and also looking at the Sentinel. So many shots looking up at that figure in the window, which is super fucking creepy, and I loved it.
I did too.
But there's lots of window stuff in here, which is great.
Yeah,
you mentioned
good
earlier,
window work.
Yeah. The eyes are the windows of the boobs, or something. I don't know.
Oh yes, I remember.
The
kind of.
nipples are the eyes of the face.
Pretty much. Well, they always say the windows are the eyes of a house.
Yeah.
Right?
I was wondering because you said earlier, Rosemary's Baby, the camera work was very similar. Like, I don't know if they use the same kind of camera, so I wonder if that's kind of why I gave you that vibe and kind of like the slow pacing.
Yeah,
of a lot of the stuff.
Also, I think a lot of my Rosemary's Baby feels on this is the whole moving into a new apartment on a deal Like she got a steal deal on this
Yep.
apartment because they needed to get someone in here, the right tenant, and then all the weird ass neighbors who are in on it.
Oh, true.
Those,
Yeah.
I think those two aspects had a lot of Rosemary's Baby feel as well as the time period. It's all the same kind of time frame, the same
And there's
style.
religious context in both, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
For sure.
The only other thing I notated was I like some of the transitions in the beginning when it's like the models. Basically, they would do like a pose and it would pick up a different location and be at the same pose and then we drop it.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I liked that too.
I ragged on it earlier, but I really did like
Oh,
our
it's
opening
cheesy as
titles.
fuck, but
So cheesy.
But so is modeling.
right.
Yeah.
The
Did you
final
guys-
product is great, but I imagine you'd feel like a fool doing it.
So remember that stupid commercial they had to do where they're shaking their heads and their hair's not even really going that great?
And they're sitting in like a field, yeah.
Yes. It's weird looking to me. Like it looks like it was backwards, if that makes sense.
No, it totally, I thought the same thing. I was like, did they shoot it, like have them flip their hair and then they played it backwards? Because the hair moves weird.
Yes.
It
I
really
had
moves weird.
I had that feeling also when Chris Sarandon comes back as Ghost Chris Sarandon, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
And the cat like jumps out of his arms. It looked like he was jumping into his arms or something like that. Vice might be the other way around, but it looked off how the cat was moving it from point A to point B. That looked reversed for me as well. Do you guys have anything else to add?
No.
Okay.
Just overall, like, I mean, again, it was probably like, I think one of the stronger points of the movie.
It was my favorite
'cause-
part of the movie. It was beautiful.
Yeah, because it's not the story. The story's not the strongest part, and there's some other things that aren't the strongest part. But the
locations, too.
cinematography, yeah, the location is really pretty.
Such a beautiful apartment building. I mean, oh my God. And fun fact, in the end, when they ripped down the apartment building, which I thought was also a really cool shot as well, and they go into the new apartment building, apparently that was a visual effect, and the old apartment is still there in real life, which I must go to.
That would be fun to visit. Yeah.
I have the address.
Let's go, Dolls Trip.
Field trip. Gotta go.
Sentinel vacay.
Stare at it. Honestly, the apartment is my favorite part of the movie. It's so pretty.
Is it actually in New York?
I think so. I would love to live there so much, so much.
We will have to visit there and order us some cake.
No, yes. Oh my gosh, I got one more actor that we can just
Oh.
leave this here, but I had to mention him. Another one of my aha moments. He was the party guest, right? One of them. I was like, all that jazz, all that jazz, all that jazz. He was Paul in All That Jazz. And he's one of the most memorable parts of All That Jazz for me, honestly. Like, he has a tiny part, but his few lines I hear in my head. They say you can't see a picture. When I see the poster of All That Jazz, I hear his voice. It's crazy.
You're
Anyways.
giving me very Leonardo DiCaprio right there. That meme where he has like he's pointing.
Like I
Yes.
said, I did that through the entire movie. So that was Anthony Holland, and oh my God, it was so exciting to see him. I got some more effects notes, but I got some more cinematography notes, but they're honestly more effects heavy, so I'm going to save them for right now for special effects.
Doesn't matter what happened. What matters is what looks like what happened. And what looks like what happened is pretty nasty.
Okay, guys, effects people on this movie. We've got Tony Parmalee. He also did Awakenings. He did Goodfellas. He did Beaches, Moonstruck, The Cotton Club. We've talked about that, Jamie. And The Great Gatsby from 1974. We also have Albert Whitlock, who did The Thing,
Oh wow.
The Exorcist 2. Hey! Graveyard Shift, Star Trek, the TV show, Gremlins Part 2, Clue, Dune, Psycho 2. Cat People, Victor, Victoria, Blues Brothers, The Wiz, Funny Girl and Funny Lady, Thoroughly Modern, Millie, Mame, and the original Willy Wonka. So my little musical love and heart was so happy about those.
I got confused for a second when he said Cat People. I was like, I love that movie, but I'm thinking of Sleepwalkers.
Oh, I like Cat People too. The original and then the 90s remake or whatever was kind of fun too.
I haven't seen the 90s one, but I've seen the original for sure.
Oh,
I
it's
like it.
beautiful. The original's beautiful.
It's so pretty. It's a very pretty
Mhm.
movie, just like this one. Okay, so My main effects notes. I got Ghost Sarandon's head wound.
Cool.
Lesbian cannibal dinner. To go with my cake orgy.
There's a lot of boobs in this movie.
There's a lot of boobs in this movie, and they're like front facing boobs. They're like
Yes.
right in your vision. It's not like a little like side thing. No, they're right in your vision with her crashing cymbals.
Because like Beverly D'Angelo, like I don't know much about her outside of like the older stuff after like say National Lampoons. I was not expecting to see her big old tatas.
She showed her boobs in Lampoons.
Did she?
In the original.
I've only seen them on
that's
TV, so I guess not.
Oh no, yeah, she had boobage in Lampoons too. So we got
Good for
boobs
her.
there, right?
Yeah. She's a beautiful lady. I mean, she is. It was a lot of her that I wasn't. You're not expecting it.
There was a lot of people in this movie. I wasn't
I
expecting.
was just getting a lot of like did you ever see the House Bunny?
Yes.
So she was
Yes.
she was the bitchy house mother to the other sorority, and she's like, "This is not a brothel," and I was like, "Well, was damn back then, shit."
I forgot she was
I
in
love that movie. Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, man. Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh, and the Demon's Descent into Hell. That was a very pretty shot. I don't know if it was an effect shot, but I really liked the cinematography on that shot.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
Most of the stuff that you said. What else did I write here? I liked I'm trying to remember just who it was, but I think there was a couple people that happened to where their faces kind of like almost opened up and started bleeding, and I liked that.
I like that too. I mean, the ghost and demon work in this was pretty great. It's so good. It's so good. I think it might have been her dad character. But there's one scene where he gets like stabbed in the eye. You talked about it earlier. But the whole part of the whole effects in that scene and the whole effects of him as a whole were gnarly and icky, and I loved it. I want more of that.
I wish there was more of that in this movie, and you had it because it's more isolated towards the end. I mean, the dad part that happens more like kind of in the middle, but the rest of it's all at the end. It's like I wish we would have seen a little bit more of the ghouly stuff, like the demony zombie people, like throughout the movie because it was
The
good.
dead body in the car was pretty good too. Who was it? Was it Professor Renzinski? Was that the dead one?
I think so.
Yeah,
right? Was that the dead one?
So the car was all like total looking, and he was in there, and it looked good too. I liked it.
Yeah.
Can I just say I really felt for what's this girl's name again? What's our lead lady's character's
Allison.
name? Allison. She does not look like an Allison. Sorry.
No, not at all.
She looks much more like a Christina. That's why I'm having issues.
Allison, kiss me. I'm Allison.
I really felt for her in my soul when boyfriend didn't want to leave her alone, so he was forcing her to go to the party, and she's like, "I don't want to go." That's me, guys. When asked to go to parties or anything, I don't want to go.
I love that she just kind of wants some space. Like she's like, I don't want to live with you anymore. I want my own space, dude.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in Twist, right?
Oh, we will.
That's a little relationship red flag. It's like you're going backwards a little bit. But I love how they, like I said, flesh out why she wants her independence for a little while because of her whole mom and dad situation. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. Anything else on effects, guys?
No.
Okay. Music.
Music is my life.
Ooh, I dropped the ball on music. I don't have anything on music, guys. But our composer was Joe Melly, and he did Blood Beach. Jamie, that one's for you.
I love Blood Beach.
I know you do.
I didn't write much for music either. My notes don't make any sense on music. I'm sorry, guys. I wrote dun dun dun. I don't know what that means.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, dreamy flutes, intense harpsichord, those piano notes though, and polka dance. That's all.
Oh, the polka. Yeah, the party. The cat birthday party.
Yes.
For me, was like one of the first things where I was like, is this a made-for-TV movie compared to like, say, a theatrical run? But then there was way too many boobs for it to be made for TV.
Funny you say that, Clark. There were two versions cut of this, and one had no boobage and less gore. But the DVD releases had all the goodies.
Okay.
So, yeah. Kind of like Nightmare, they did do two versions. All right. Does this movie even have a rating? Maybe it was a
Listen,
made-for-TV
I don't
movie.
know. Maybe it was.
Because normally there's a rating front and center on IMDb, and I'm not seeing
Rated
one.
CO for Cake Orgy.
Congratulations, Clark. You just picked the title of this episode.
There you go.
If that doesn't pull the people in, I don't know what will.
Right? I mean, it's not what I prefer to see, but
it does take you by surprise.
Oh my gosh, does it ever?
It's like think of like the crypt keeper having like an affair with Patty and Selma from The Simpsons.
I love that.
Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Okay, anything else on music, guys? I totally dropped the ball. I got nothing.
That's it.
I think we handled it pretty well.
Yeah, we got this.
Music may have also been partially what reminded me of Rosemary's Baby as well, because they did have, similar feels all around. Jamie, my favorite is your dun dun dun. Accurate.
Dun,
dun dun.
Okay, aging.
Stand the test of time.
It was the
It's
70s.
a time capsule. Yeah.
It is a vault movie, that's for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
That's all I got. Okay, moving on.
It aged.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah. Okay. On the upside, the CGI that was used in this was actually very good. Can't tell.
There was CGI?
Exactly. Yes.
What was the CGI?
Well,
I
the
didn't know they
apartment
had
complex
CGI
for
back
one.
then.
In the end, the new apartment complex in the end.
Oh.
Yep, that was one that looked real to me. Okay, twist.
See, the police are always off track with this shit. If they watch Prom Night, they'd save time. There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
I know you got a list.
I was overwhelmed on this one too, so I'm gonna do my best. I know. I might have missed some because there was a lot going on, and like I said, I love this movie again, but I don't know exactly what happened. So okay. She was in the hospital. So space, please. Her father's sick. It was suicide. Sandra's going to town on herself. Senile blind priest upstairs. No one else. Dun dun dun. No one else but the priest lives there. The neighbors are dead murderers. Her boyfriend's ex committed suicide is the story or whatever. Religion stuff. Reads in Latin. Suicide turns people into sentinels. She's next. Religion stuff. Those evil lesbians. The apartment's selling again. She's a blind nun. I thought I said she's a blind man. And how getaway? Gateway. That's all I got.
Well, you missed the part where the boyfriend.
I don't know. I might have missed something.
Confessed that he did kill his first wife.
I totally missed that.
Yeah, it was like
I
one
did
part
miss
where he
that.
was
That's
saying
right.
like basically like he was like stuck in like that kind of whatever form he was in after. But it wasn't just because of him killing the one guy. He also killed his first wife, probably to shut her up.
That's right. Yeah.
Because remember, the cops kept hounding him on it the entire movie.
Yes.
Guys, sorry, failed.
That's right. I told you, I don't know what happens in this movie.
The only other thing I said is she lost her faith after seeing her dad pork some women.
Traumatized.
I mean, I'd probably see the same thing and be like, there is no God.
Ooh. Yeah, super twisty on this one. Pacing.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
I was so bored. I love the end. I love the last 20 minutes, all for it. I could have just skipped over to that, though.
I feel like that was a trend of the 70s. Like, even like Rosemary's Baby and like Carrie and stuff like that were like very long and stretched out.
Yeah, Rosemary's Baby was pretty slow.
It totally is of the time. That's how movies. Yeah, this is how these movies looked. But it is definitely a slow-paced movie, and there's not really a lot of things throughout it that break up that pacing, other than a couple like things like cake orgy, birthday party. But I mean, I enjoy it. Yeah, I do like slow, like 70s moody, atmospheric movies, so I don't mind it. I mean, I do lose my attention a little bit in this movie at certain points because the pacing is draggy, but yeah, it's the
Yeah.
style.
Okay, scary. I don't get scared at religious horror really, but I definitely would have become the victim because I will definitely jump on that apartment for $400 a month. Thank you.
Even it made me become like a blind nun.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
What was the purpose of that? Do you think it was because like that way she doesn't have to see the evils? They can't.
Maybe it locks. Maybe it closes the portal if you can't see. I don't know. Like Jamie said, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
A lot of older movies didn't.
Or maybe
Yeah.
it just looks creepy and that's why they did it. There's no reason.
I think that's probably it. They're like, you know what? Like, it's a sentinel. They're supposed to see, so let's make them blind. Because, like, nobody's going to be expecting that.
Well, I tell you what, guys,
Sentinel, but she's blind.
I just ordered just now this book on eBay. And so I'm going to read it. And I am going to tell y'all if the book makes more sense than the movie.
Yeah, please do.
Oh, I'm dying to know. Because a lot of times these slower movies are really good in book form. So
yeah, I could see
we'll
that.
see. Maybe they explain a little bit more. Story.
Tell us the story. What story? Yours.
I heard someone say this about this movie. I read it in a review and I completely agree. And that is these people should have hopped on that clue wagon like 30 minutes ago. I said that halfway through the movie. It's quite obvious something is not right here, guys. Come on. So
yeah.
What about you guys?
This is one of those stories where like they throw so much stuff at the wall to see what kind of sticks, It's like, we have like the whole Sentinel thing. There's like the suicides that lead to the Sentinels. There's the dream neighbors. There's her traumas. What the fuck is up with her boyfriend? Model troubles. Cake.
Cats.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. That's a lot.
And I'll tell you, like, so there are some religious like horrors that I like that are classics, right? But like, I do because I'm not a religious person, so it doesn't really speak to me that much. So I tend to kind of like lose interest when there's like a religious plot. So but that being said, I still think it was a interesting and unusual movie. But usually that kind of makes me fade out a little bit.
I love religious horror.
Like religion stuff.
Yeah, I love religious horror. It doesn't scare me ever because I'm not super, spiritual or religious anyway. But given that religion is such a huge part of a lot of people's lives and each religion is so different and there's a lot of sinister in like every religion, honestly. Like, sorry guys, there is.
Definitely.
I find it really fun when religion is brought into horror. That being said, this is not really one of those times for me at all. And I know people who were brought up super churchy really have issues with this type of movie, the Rosemary's Baby movie, The Exorcist. People say all the time The Exorcist is the scariest movie they've ever seen in their lives. And I'm like, it didn't faze me at all because I'm not churchy. But so many people who grew up in the church, even if they're not churchy now, any church doesn't even have to be Catholic. It freaks them out. So I do love religion in horror. I just, if it's done right.
Yeah.
If
It's
there's
not my
more horror in it.
Yeah, it's not my fave little like subgenre kind of thing, but
I find myself religion fascinating. I am not a religious person whatsoever. I did not grow up that way.
Interesting.
But say with coworkers, I always love an open dialogue and letting them tell me about what they believe in and the stories. And half the time I'm like, this is fucking wackadoo, but you go, girl.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I will say I've never been religious, but I'm very open, you know what I mean? So I've danced with Hare Krishnas, I've gone to Buddhist, I've done meditation in groups, I've sang in the church choir with my friends. I've been to Jewish temple. So I've experienced religion as kind of like an observer. And I think it's really interesting too. But yeah, it's not my
What-
particular
One of,
lifestyle.
one of my favorites was learning about the origins of the Mormon beliefs. So if you ever get a chance to like hear that, that's an interesting tale.
It's a very interesting tale for sure. They are pretty interesting stories, and like the similarities between them are kind of interesting too. Some of these little like reoccurring motifs that pop up in pretty much every religion you could imagine. So it's like we're not all that different, guys. Like we're not. The stories are very similar motifs. Like we're trying
All
to
rooted
understand
in the same thing,
things
basically.
about life. Yeah.
Yeah.
But with this, go ahead.
I just wish that, like Jamie said, there was more, and like you, Clark, there's more of an open dialogue and acceptance and less anger and fighting.
Yeah.
You know, we all don't have to like believe in the same thing. Like you said, you go,
Aw.
girl. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I wish that. I mean, golly, we're seeing what's going on right now with the Jewish people, and it's just devastating. And I'm not one of them, but
Yeah.
I'm like, how could this still be happening?
In 2020, what is it, 2023?
I don't even know anymore.
No.
How could this still be happening? It is.
No.
It's just. That's real horror right there. It's the worst. People use religion as a reason to hate certain groups. And
Yep.
as long as you don't preach your shit to me and make me try to believe what you believe, we
Same.
cool.
Same,
So,
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Which was my main issue with my ex's in-laws religion.
I feel that. I'm a reporter, so I'm just used to talking to people who are from all different walks of life. I've written
Yeah.
about religion and many times, and a lot of those people are really great.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. As long as they don't veer towards that hateful side of it all, which is just not what it should be, honestly. So anyhow. All right, that's been Church Talk with the Dolls and
Yes.
Clark.
I'll say right now, my hateful side doesn't come from religion. Kidding.
Thank
It comes
you.
from being gay.
My hateful side, I was just born with it, born with spite.
Right. I
Yep.
just hate everyone and everything.
Yeah. Everything sucks, so no.
Not everyone, but most
Kidding.
ones.
I know,
Most
kidding.
ones have earned it. Anyway, Jamie, do you have
I think-
taglines?
Oh, I was like, what did I do this time? Yes, I do have taglines. Taglines. We have more taglines for this movie than it needs. Okay. She was young. She was beautiful. She was next. She's living in the gateway to hell. She's young. She's beautiful. She's next. Okay, but it was punctuated differently on this one. Okay. Doomed to guard the gates of hell forever. There must forever be a guardian at the gate from hell. That's it. They're not great.
I'm going to make it my own now because of one of the ones you said. She's beauty, she's grace, she's a sentinel for this place. Did you hear that, Jamie? Okay, good.
I did.
Damn it,
I
Clark,
did.
now
That was
I
way
have
better.
2 titles and have to pick one.
Yeah.
Okay, that was good. Overall movie rating. Jamie, this was your pick, kind of. What's your thoughts on this one?
Sure. So, I love this movie. I do, like I said, but it's not like a 10 or a 9 or anything like that. It's not one that I watch too often. It's been a while since I've seen this one. I love that it's just like kind of absurd and like weird, and like they're just like, what kind of weird shit can we throw at people in this? Like, cake orgy? Go for it. Cat in a birthday hat? Yes. Throw in some crucifixes? Yes. So I love that they did all that. I love the fashion. All that being said, this is like a 6 for me right now. Might go down, might go up, maybe go down. I'm not sure. But it's a 6 for me. I love it, but it's not, it's not a movie without its issues. I will say that. But I do love it for what it is.
I can't wait to read the story, the book, to see if this is
I'm
like
very
Rosemary's
curious.
Baby and if it's just as insane or if it makes more sense.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the book is like.
Yeah. One thing that I kept reading over and over and over and over and over again, and it must be true when reading about this movie, is that was a lot of conflict on set. No one
I
liked
heard
this
that too.
director. The director didn't like anybody either. I mean, yeah, this was probably just a troubled production from the beginning. Chris Sarandon said in an interview, apparently, according to the internet, this is the worst project he's ever worked on.
Yeah, he really regretted it.
Which is a shame because he was really good in it, but it was not a good experience for him, and for a lot, Christina didn't get on with the director.
No.
So, yeah, maybe if we had a different director, this may have worked out better.
Maybe. It does sound like there was a lot of drama on set.
Yeah. So, Clark, what about you?
I think I'm going to go halfway with this one. I think I'm going to give it a 5. There's definitely parts in it that I liked. I'm definitely going to remember this movie.
Yeah.
So that's not an issue there. I feel like this is a movie that would be probably a good candidate for a remake, and they could actually make it a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I think so too.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna give it a 5, middle of the road. Maybe add in like some titty symbols, something like that.
Yeah.
That's about it.
5 and some titty symbols.
Yes.
Oh man, gotta throw in the titty symbols.
I'm kind of with you, Clark. Going into this movie, realizing that I had seen this movie before, which I thought that I had, honestly, but I wasn't 100% on this because it was so unmemorable the first time for me. I would have given this a 3. And then watching this movie and doing my homework, I'm giving this more like a 5. Maybe like, I don't know, a 5 and a cat party hat, So,
Cat in a hat.
Yeah, it's just a hat over a 5. So I don't hate it. I really don't. I can't wait to read the book. I like it enough to want to explore the source material, which is kind of
Yeah.
a big deal because I'm not a fast reader. So when I pick up a book and read it, it's, I have to really want to read. But yeah, my rating went up 2 points, 2 whole points with this from the first time because I was not into this the first viewing 3 years ago. Not at all. Now I like it a little more. I saw some really good things in it. The cinematography, as we said, was beautiful and amazing. And those mugshot cards, man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's not a movie for everybody, but I think like it's worth a watch for everybody because it's unusual and then it's just fun to see all these faces, these fresh faces of people we know and love. Every time somebody pops up, you're like, "That's Jeff Goldblum. That's literally Jeff Goldblum right now."
Yeah. And this is all before most of them were uber famous or partly famous in some cases. Some of these did not become super famous, but they were still known. That was a real highlight for me. That might be reason why this did go up. Seeing John Getz pop in for a second, and then Jerry Orbach. My little Broadway love and heart. Loved me some Jerry Orbach in 42nd Street. So all that stuff really, really added to it for me. And because my dumbass wasn't paying attention the first time, I didn't pick that up the first time.
I think this is going to be one of those movies that kind of confuse you as you get further away from seeing it, just because you're going to remember the good parts way more than the bad parts. So you're going to make up in your mind that you're like, oh man, that was a cool movie. And then you're going to watch it and you're going to be kind of bored. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's true.
Because the parts that stand out really stand out.
They do.
Yeah, they do. Cake orgy, cat birthday party.
Looking at you, cake orgy.
And as Clark said, I found the text. As Clark said, you and your halfway viewings.
Yes.
Love it.
Guilty. First time, but definitely guilty of this. This time I had to pay attention, and even then I kind of only halfway viewed, clearly, because I didn't have all my homework like I should. So sorry, guys.
We did the whole episode though.
Did the whole episode, yeah. So, but we're pretty
it.
even. We're pretty even on our ratings on this, which is pretty neat.
I know.
Yeah. I told Jamie that I bought this movie because it was kind of the same price as online, is renting it or purchasing it digitally. So I bought the DVD and I said, worst case scenario, if I hate it, I'll give it to you.
And
I'm keeping
Am I getting it? Aw. It's a cool cover art too.
It's
The
a great
cover art is
cover.
really dope. It's really
It's a great
cool.
cover. If I get tired of it, I'll give it to you. But I like it enough to keep it and maybe give it another chance in a couple of years.
Good. Okay, good.
Probably read the book and then watch it again.
The way you said it though made me think of like, have you ever had like one of those gifts that are like always re-gifted to other family members because nobody wants it?
And it just keeps doing the rotations.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Since I knew Jamie liked this movie, there was no risk in purchasing it, physically. I said,
Exactly.
well, if I hate it, she'll have it. It won't go to waste on my shelf.
I watched it on the internet, like archives or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
There's like this archive of like every single older movie and stuff like that you can watch for free.
I did not know that.
Oh,
'Cause I
cool.
watched
Like
it on
public
Tubi.
domain kind of movies. I watched it on Tubi too.
It's also on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't have that
Oh
though.
wow.
So
I
yeah,
don't anymore because
it's out there.
cracking down on people sharing.
Yeah, no,
because-
Internet Archive, and you would
Oh,
be shocked at how many movies are on there.
Really?
I have heard of this. I need an Internet Archive. I need to check that out. I've heard of this.
Okay, it's fun fact time, y'all.
That's the fact, Jack! That's a fact, Jack!
Apparently, Jeff Goldblum was dubbed in all but one of his scenes.
That makes sense. It seemed kind of weird.
The disconnect, we've talked about it.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
So, Christina Rains has said that the film crew actually used the exterior to an actual... Christina Rains has said that a lot of strange happenings happened when they were shooting at the apartment, particularly when she was assigned to an apartment to use as a dressing room and found out it was rented by a priest. The uncut, and uncut is in, quotes, version on DVD features more Catholic church, more nudity, and more gore. And the censored one that went to all the TVs had all the church parts deleted. Crazy, right?
That's weird.
And replaced by the Brotherhood of the Sentinels. Obviously, no nudity.
Oh, so they didn't like the church. They didn't like the church being the evil whatever.
Yep.
And they weren't really evil in it, but yeah.
No.
You just reminded me though, the very beginning, because it opens up like in Italy with like the churchgoers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For my fashion moment, I want to add in like the main priest guy or whatever he is walking down, like strutting his stuff, being like, walk, fashion, yes. Oh, go.
I saw that.
Work it.
Yes.
The director, Michael Winner, says that in his memoirs, apparently he has a memoir, that he wanted Martin Sheen for the lead role of the man. And there's a whole lot of fun facts on how director and author did not get along at all. It keeps getting brought up over and over and over again, so they must have really hated each other.
Yeah.
Film debut for Beverly D'Angelo.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
This is my favorite thing about the author-director conflict. Author Jeffrey Konvitz said that director Michael Winner's response to most of Konvitz's criticism was stop worrying about it and go find some girls. Also, Jeffrey called him an egomaniac in the Blu-ray commentary, which I have not seen. So.
Mine's actually going to be kind of tied in with that too. I see that a lot, especially since I have a lot of like little buddies now from Instagram that they want to write, so they make scripts and stuff like that. But they're so afraid of giving up like creative control, or they like have so many stipulations, so nothing happens with them. They just kind of sit there and nothing comes of it, you know. And I'm just like, I don't know myself. I would be so happy if I wrote something and 30% of it translated.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Same. Yeah, same. I'm a writer though. You have to like, so all the time I have to deal with my, if my editor wants it changed, like it changes and you just have to roll with it and be like, all right, this is to make it better. So, sure.
Yeah.
You just can't take it like personally. It's, it's like about the work itself. And sometimes it needs, and like you said, if I could even get 30% of I'd be like so happy just to be a part. And you could learn something too.
Yeah, especially in like a literary work. It's a book, it's like, and your name's in the movie credits. It's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that being said, I am kind of a purist when it comes book to movie. So if they stray too far from the book, I typically don't like the movie that much, even if it's a good movie. The Shining, I'm talking to you.
That's why you shouldn't read. I'm just kidding.
Right? Seriously, though. Seriously though, yeah. Okay then. They do it very well sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah.
a book is just really just so wackadoo it's not going to translate well and they have to change a lot of it. And that works too. But yeah, sometimes you don't need it to do that. Okay.
Speaking of wackadoo, though, are you guys going to listen to the Britney Spears book when it comes out?
You know I am. I've already been following like all the little tidbits that are coming out, and I was like, "Oh, my heart's gonna explode!"
You're like,
And there's
"Give
gonna
it
be
to me."
another one. I know. She already
Yes.
said there's gonna be a second one, and I'm like, "There's gonna be more." Like, yeah, I want it. I'm
She
excited.
didn't put it all in the first one. What?
I know, and I was like, "Okay,
Crazy.
I've been waiting for this day. I've been preparing." So yeah, I'm gonna read it.
Chris Sarandon stated openly that his experience filming this movie made him want to quit acting.
Oh.
I know.
Ooh.
We almost didn't get Child's Play because of this.
Yikes.
Alrighty. Jeff Goldblum had previously worked with Michael Winner on Death Wish. Film debut of Tom Berenger. Oh, Clark, this is for you. Kate Jackson,
Okay.
Charlie's Angels, was
Yes.
asked to play Allison but turned it down.
Oh.
That is so funny because they look so similar
Wow.
to me.
Yeah, you
I don't
called
know
it.
if that's true because a lot of times this is out there and they're like, that never happened. But I mean, they do look super, super similar.
Yeah.
He had a aesthetic in his head.
Yes. And that is
Yeah.
what it is most of the time. You don't look like the part, and so you don't get the part. It has nothing to do with your talent. You just don't look right for what they want. So,
But I
there you go.
have seen sometimes when people amaze them so much that they end up getting the part that was nothing like the character they were supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
Like Dustin Hoffman in The Graduate.
Yeah.
That was based on a book, and the character in the book is like a jock. He's blonde, and then Dustin Hoffman comes along, and he is not that at all. But because he really impressed them, they changed the character to fit him. Like,
Well, it's the same thing with Christina Lees in most of her roles. She went in for a part that was not at all what she is described as, and then she got it. Also, Toy Newkirk got her little part on 90210. It was written as a Caucasian blonde, not her, but she got it.
So was Bonnie from The Craft. That was supposed to be a white girl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also, I mean,
Not Bonnie, Rachel.
Yeah, I know.
Rachel Stewart, Sorry.
That's what happens. Michael Winner wanted Beverly D'Angelo in the Allison role, apparently. Says she would have done a better job, according to the internet.
I thought that girl who did Allison was fine.
I thought she was fine.
She did good. Yeah.
I think that I did hear a lot of criticism on her performance. People called her wooden.
I heard that. I read that too, and I'm like, she did fine.
I didn't see that. I think that the criticism on her performance maybe needed to be directed more towards the directing of the movie or maybe the editor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
Leave
think
our
she
girl
did fine.
alone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's got a lot going on.
Chris Sarandon and William Hickey appeared in Nightmare Before Christmas together. I forgot to write Nightmare on Hickey's credits. It's true. And that is all for fun facts. So it is time for shout outs.
Yay.
Okay. First, Patreons John, Alex, Mike, and Bill.
And there was much rejoicing.
Gentlemen, have you got one of Clark's calendars yet? Because if not, why the fuck not? I'm just saying.
Yeah, you need one. You need two. One for every room, okay?
I mean, you kind of want to have to see some Studley scream in for it, but
I don't care what you're selling, Clark. I'll buy it.
Okay.
Even if
I'm working on the female variant right now.
I'll purchase that for my male friends. But
There you go.
Yeah, you got to support your artist friends, your author friends, even if you're not really into their stuff. You just got to, buy their stuff.
The way I see it is we're all a horror community kind of here, and you have to know somebody who would want it regardless.
Exactly. If not,
I know too many people to
someone.
count who would want it.
Me too. Me too. Unfortunately, I couldn't buy one for everyone. So I bought one for our leather daddy. Surprise, Alex. He will have had it by the time this episode drops.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. I was like,
I know.
I don't
spoilers.
I don't think he listens regularly. So
okay.
He listens to the movies that he's seen, and I'm wondering if he's seen this movie.
Yeah,
And then, of course, we need to shout out author David O'Hanlon.
What's that book about?
Oh, this is something special.
Go support him and buy his books as well. You can also, right now, God, I don't know if it's right now, but his audiobooks are available on Apple Podcasts for free at time of
awesome.
recording.
Oh,
So
fun.
go look up his name on, Apple Podcasts and download his audiobooks if you don't want to read them, because reading is hard. I'm not being an asshole. My brain really can't handle a lot of reading after I read all day long. I know Jamie's in the same boat after she creates reading all day long. So reading is a bare brain activity, and most of the time I just want to veg. But if you want to veg, you can now listen to his stuff on audiobook. You don't have to you don't have to read. There you go. You're welcome. And last, of course, but definitely not least, our guest and artist, Clark Felix. Extra applause for Clark. Woo!
Me?
So what are you, an artist or something? These are rather good. They're very good, actually.
Yeah. Okay, guys, Clark has his calendar out. I got my pre-order on Thursday for his horror hunks from the Scream franchise calendar. They're super naughty and I love it. And I was looking at it at work and my coworkers were kind of passing it around. And I'm like, hush, HR's right there.
Did they
They're
like
gonna
it
want
at
like
least?
five. They're gonna want like five copies in HR, and I only have like one.
I gotta
So-
say, my
yeah.
favorite picture, Clark, is June. The Misters of June, which is of course Billy and Stu.
Which is my birth month. So woo,
Yes.
that was my fave too. So I'm like,
And
yes.
I get, because this is a December through December calendar. I have 2 birth month pictures. I've
Oh,
got Tom
snap.
Prince and Wes Hicks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 3 and 5.
I think I'm going with Tom.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Tom was in Rose Red.
Yes.
The actor.
No.
So yeah, 14 different guys from the Scream franchise are depicted in there, all in kind of smutty beefcake looking poses. There's also a hidden ghost face on every single page, so
Which
or
I
every single
didn't
picture.
know.
Yeah, it says it
I'm
right
so
there on the back.
excited.
Summer.
I didn't read. We talk about. I was just looking at all the eye candy, yo. I wasn't reading.
I was a little distracted.
I also
by
love
the
Clark
humps.
that you have. Is this their birthdays, right?
Yeah. So instead of doing like say the holidays and things of that sort, we just did every single character's birthday is listed in the calendar.
I fucking
Even
love
the
that so
characters
much.
that aren't pictured, like the ladies of Scream, are on here too. Heather Matarazzo's on here. Everyone is on here. And
Yeah.
so if you're like me and you're really big into birthdays, this is awesome.
Keith did a great job on that part, and he basically got every single person that was credited in the film. I think except for one person, we have found all their birthdays and added them in.
Wow. Ah, that's so amazing.
David Arquette, Rose McGowan, W. Earl Brown, Jada Pinkett Smith, Rebecca Gayheart. Oh my God. Yeah. So Clark, your partner on this is from
Horrified Podcast?
Yes, that's it. So let's shout them out as well because they did a
course.
great job
Yeah,
on
whoop,
this.
whoop.
This is so cool. This
Yes,
is
I'm
so
very
cool.
excited. People just started receiving it. Some haven't. I think Jamie's is coming on Monday.
Yay.
And we ordered enough after all the pre-orders. I think we had 40 left over. So hopefully those will be gone by the end of the year.
Let's get them
Yay.
sold, guys. Let's get them
Yes,
sold.
go get yours, listeners.
And I gotta say, because I did the pre-order, because Clark told me to, it came with some
Mhm.
goodies.
I'm so
came with
excited.
these fun little horror hunk cards and a sticker that has like a very iridescent shiny thing on it. And I got postcards.
Aww.
And I'm like over here
I'm so
going,
excited.
I want to keep them all.
Aww.
They're so good. I can't decide which one I want to give up. All 4 of these cards are great. And bookmarks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bookmarks. They're laminated. There's a ghost face on one side and a horror hunk on the other.
I'm getting so excited right now. I'm like, oh, whoa.
And you got my favorite picture on the bookmark.
Yes. Well, I try to do like based off of one of the postcards that you guys wanted, things of that sort.
Yeah. Oh,
Which is
I love
hilarious
this.
also that you picked what you picked because I didn't tell you what I wanted because you asked me and I read it and then I forgot to reply, so I never told you what I wanted.
You know what? I
Because
went
I'm an
safe.
asshole.
I was like Billy and Stu. I mean, like first movie, two guys together. Come on. And then I was like,
Slam
so
dunk.
that's my safe bet. And then I went for kind of like kink for the other ones because of Alex.
I love that. I bet Alex is gonna love that so much too.
I
Like,
love this.
you
this
picked these for
Scream
me.
2 guy.
I think Nina picked Chad, so she got some Chad ones.
And yeah, David Arquette looking awfully hunky with his cop shirt
Yeah.
open. Yep.
Love it.
And dude,
And I'll be
from
doing the same
Cold.
thing next year whenever I release the female version. So pre-orders are better because you get more with it.
Pre-orders are the best.
I feel like we got a quick turnaround on it though. Like it was only a
Yeah.
month from like the pre-order start date. I think that we actually got them sent out.
Yeah, I pre-ordered things where it was like several months before I got it.
And Clark, like I said, I love that this starts on December. I don't have to wait till January.
Well, the funny thing with that is kind of like I had it all set ready to go, and then the people that were gonna make the calendars for us required 28 pages, and we only had 26. So I had to throw in another month in there. I was like, oh, we got December. There we go.
But it's perfect.
Mhm.
Either December of this year or a January of the next year.
Yes.
What was that, Jamie?
I
Clark's
love
so
that.
talented.
Oh,
Clark,
thank
you
you.
do such amazing
I
work.
know.
Oh yeah. So ladies and anyone you know who might like, a beefcake calendar for, people who like beefcakes, check it out.
Oh yeah, and also follow me at Clark Makes Art 87.
Yep. It's a good calendar. The bonus pre-order stuff is amazing. You should totally sell these postcards for like $1 a piece. I'm just saying. People who want to buy just a quick postcard.
Right,
'cause
maybe.
these are pretty great. I'm just saying. I would buy the whole collection as a postcard as well.
I love postcards. I definitely have a collection of them. Mhm.
Same.
But yeah, I gave everyone who pre-ordered like the option between Nightmare Boys and Scream Girls 1. So that's what I'm working on next for next year.
Yay.
But I am starting it so early. I might be able to sneak the Nightmare Boys in there as well.
Yes. There's no harm in putting in extra work now and then banking it
Right.
for the year after.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's what
Exactly.
you were doing when you were first making art for us. You found out which ones we were doing and you made a bunch of pieces all at once. And then you
Mhm.
didn't have to think about it for a while.
Right. And then I got behind and then it became too impossible to keep up.
And then you left us for your own projects.
I know.
You got too big for us.
It's so sad.
It is so sad.
I appreciate the dolls for letting me grow my skills though, because really you guys were my beginning. I got my tablet when it came to doing your very first logo I did for you.
Yep.
So
Aw.
that's why basically I was doing a title card for you every week because it was me getting to learn my skills on it,
Yeah.
And you had several different styles on some of those cards. We started
Yep.
off super cartoony, and then we got more realistic, and then you tried the pinup thing, which is pretty great as well. So yeah, all sorts of different styles there.
Yeah.
And it's just been so fun watching you like develop your skills, and try out these different styles. Every time I see stuff that you do, I'm like, holy shit. And he was like doing stuff for us. Like he's really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I can't believe I knew you when. Way back. Way back, man. Oh, and let us not forget about the doc, the Fredheads doc.
Oh yeah, that
you
was
did,
fun.
Right?
So
there,
cool.
your art is featured in the Fredheads documentary as well. So check that out to see our boys' work. Yeah.
You'll be able to
everywhere
tell
now.
which ones are mine. Well, obviously because I have a distinct style, but
Yes.
because they also animated a lot of the stuff that I did
Mhm.
because they
That's
had
so
the rights
cool.
to it.
Yeah. Okay. So last but not least, we have to bring on producer Nina.
80%.
Nina, first time you saw the Sentinel.
This week.
Okay.
Oh, yay.
Nina, epic line.
I've got two. I'm gonna start with my least favorite and work my way up. So my first favorite, it made me chuckle really hard. It's right after she tours the apartment, she goes outside with the realtor lady, and she looks up and she finally notices the father guy sitting there, and
That's Father Harron in 5A. He's been here for years. He's a priest. He's kind of senile. He just sits by the window. He's blind.
Blind? Well, then what does he look at?
It's good.
Into the
what else is he
abyss.
gonna do?
Yeah.
And my favorite, because it's all about the delivery. Again, between Ava Gardner and Christina, they're talking about like Ava Gardner's trying to like gouge Christina, kind of get an idea for like what kind of person she is before she like lets her rent the apartment.
I find New Yorkers have no sense for anything but sex and money.
Well, I guess there's something to be said for that, too.
It's such a 70s, like two very powerhouse type women, and it's such a great exchange between the two. I love that.
I love that moment too.
And Nina, overall movie rating.
So I really like this kind of film. I didn't really consider it religious horror. It was more for me like haunted house. And you see haunted house movies so many times. I thought the haunted apartment building was a nice little tweak on the traditional story. I got really excited when I saw Burgess Meredith because like
Yeah.
Burnt Offerings is one of my favorite all-time horror movies. So like when he came up and he was like his usual like goofy self, I'm just like, yes. So yeah, it was really fun. So I gave this a 7. I
Yay.
didn't have any issues like getting bored with it. I was like invested. My eyes were glued to the screen the whole time.
Wow.
And all the different characters, like I saw Christopher Walken in the credits and I'm like, where is Christopher Walken? Like,
Right?
and apparently I was listening to another horror podcast, but they said that the director also wanted Christopher Walken as Chris Sarandon's role as well. And
Wow.
because he didn't get it, obviously, the director put like more like little snippets of his character in the film. So I can't imagine Christopher Walken with that part, but I think it would be really funny if he had gotten it.
No, I
Yeah,
think
I
we need more
wonder
of a
if that's.
smooth Babe
I heard that.
Debnar.
I heard that true, but I wondered if it was true because they said the same thing about him for Psycho 2 or Psycho 3. One of the
He was really
Psychos.
popular though in the 70s. Like
Yeah,
he was
but
starting to really
then
get up in the
but
70s.
Tom Holland
So.
said that wasn't true.
Oh, okay.
So that was like internet stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm always iffy when I hear stuff like that, which is like I don't know if it's the Kate Jackson thing was true, but they sure do look alike. But then maybe
Yeah.
someone just said that because they sure do look alike.
I mean, it makes sense that he would have considered him, and he still ended up in the movie, even if it was a lesser part
Yeah.
where he
Mhm.
barely said anything. So, I mean, the same is true for Beverly D'Angelo. So
Yeah.
he gave her more screen time, even though she wasn't supposed to additionally have it. So
Yep.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It feels like a sister movie to Burnt Offerings. So I liked it a lot.
I agree. Oh, I'm so glad you liked it.
Are you going to read the book?
Probably, yeah. Eventually, I'm really bad at reading. Like
I'm not good
I
either.
used to be really good at it, but I think over time I've developed a high functioning form of dyslexia, so it's a struggle.
Yeah.
I got a comprehension issue. That's my thing.
I don't.
So yeah, like I know the words. I'm reading the words. They're not making their way to the brain. I have no idea what I just read.
You're like me then, because I could read a book normally and not comprehend it. So I have to actually read it really slowly and build the world in my head.
Yeah.
So it took me a long time.
I tend to read books. What helped me is I tend to read books now, the last 25 years, as like I read scripts, where you're basically read it as dialogue, and then
Actions.
the actions I kind of just break apart, and sometimes I don't even pay attention to them. I'm reading the dialogue, character descriptions, and a lot of times actions will, or the dialogue moves the actions forward, so you don't even need a lot of that stuff. If you're paying attention. So I started reading books like I read scripts, and then that helped because it's more of a broken up form of format. Anyhow, okay, this was a great episode. I'm glad we finally got to do it because it keeps coming up, and you know when that happens, Jamie, it's time. it's time to cover it.
Yeah, the universe was telling me, it was like, you need to bring cake to these people.
Oh, and there was cake.
There was cake.
Let them eat cake? No,
Yeah.
I'm never going to look at cake the same way again. I will say that. Thank you very much, the
You're
Sentinel.
welcome.
One last thing. Our apartment building, if you wanted to go see it, is at 10 Montauk Terrace in Brooklyn Heights, Brooklyn, New York. It is just across the bay from the Empire State Building, so that's not too terribly, far away from action. And also, right across from there, they filmed in the Brooklyn Heights Promenade. So if you want to catch some shots of that, I'm going to recommend this to Grim Life. See if they want to, if they have, or if they want to do it, that'd be cool. Yeah. They're having a European adventure right now, and I'm living for it. And then, just the Brooklyn Heights in general, in that neighborhood. So they looks like they shot all around that neighborhood, which is pretty cool. Anyhow, I want to go to Brooklyn Heights now.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you for sitting in with us on the Sentinel, and thank you in advance for purchasing Clark's calendar for you or someone that you love for Christmas this year. All right, y'all. Have a great Thanksgiving. We love you. Buy Clark's calendar for everyone you love at Christmas because it's awesome. And we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
This has been a presentation of The Dolls of Horror. New episodes are uploaded every week. If you'd like to reach out and say hello to the dolls or offer any movie suggestions, feel free to send them an email at thedollsofhorror@yahoo.com. You can also follow them on Facebook and Instagram, both at The Dolls of Horror, or on Twitter at Dolls of Horror for bonus content. If you really like the podcast and want to help out financially so that the dolls can keep making episodes, consider sending them a donation. Follow the link in the description or go to patreon.com/thedollsofhorror for more information. Thanks for listening. Bye!
Hey guys, it's Christmas spooky season again.
Oh, one of my favorite spooky seasons of the spooky year.
Girl, you know it's my favorite spooky season.
Yeah.
And on this spooky season, Summer's got a cold, so she sounds a little nasally, so excuse that. But we are here to tell you all about our lineup this Christmas. Now, we haven't shared this with each other, so we don't know what we
I know. And honestly, I have a list here, and I will be picking them as we talk. Because I might have to ask you, okay, are you more wanting this or that vibe? And
Like
then
we
I'll
did
pick
with
accordingly.
Halloween.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
My indecisive ass still hasn't decided.
I made a list of 4. Now I have decided, but just in case you picked mine, right?
Okay.
And then we'll talk about our New Year's movie. We both picked that together. Okay, Jamie,
Perfect.
take it away. What you got? First pick.
Okay, now let me ask you this. As far as a vibe goes, are you more interested in doing a classic or something like, what's the one that I picked last year that we really liked? Dead End. Would you like something classic or more like Dead End?
More like Dead End.
Okay, I got one that looks really like Dead End. It's called Wind Chill.
Okay. Okay.
Never seen it. It has Emily Blunt is the star.
Oh.
And I think this is maybe... let me look up when it came out, actually. Do you want me to give you the description of it?
Yes, I've never heard of it.
Okay, I've never heard of it either. It popped up on a list of Christmas horror movies for me, and I thought it looked kind of cool. It's from 2007. It's a supernatural horror, and it is, here's the description. Just before their university campus goes quiet for the winter holiday break, a young woman, Emily Blunt, asks a classmate for a lift home. I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want us to know much more than that. So
That's
very
all I
like Dead
know.
End, but...
Oh my God. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, Wind Chill.
Okay. What year?
2007.
Okay. I'm glad I picked that option because that sounds very exciting.
Yeah.
All right, my first pick is a classic. That's why I picked You're Not Classic, because mine is a classic.
Okay.
And I would just love it more than anything, Jamie, if we could please revisit Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh, I would love that. I never have a problem with that.
Yay! So I picked this because we did Silent Night, Deadly Night. It was our second episode we ever recorded on The Dolls with Tori, number 2. So it's rough. It's really rough. So I love this movie so much. It's something I watch every Christmas. I want to do this one right. So that's why I picked this one.
Okay, I'm excited about that. Very excited about that. Okay, for my next one, do you want something that's like totally bonkers and might be totally ridiculous, or another revisit?
When you say revisit, do you mean revisit like the dolls have already done it?
Mm-hmm. I think, but it would have been before me.
Is it Gremlins?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. Billy wants to be on Gremlins.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure he will be, but I don't know if he's available.
Right.
So can we maybe throw out both as options just in case we can't get
Okay.
Billy?
Okay. So then let me. Okay.
Gremlins.
Gremlins.
So I picked Gremlins for my first choice, but if we can't get Billy, what's our backup?
Okay. It could be really, really bad. It looks pretty bad, but it's called The Killing Tree.
Where is this available?
It is available on Tubi, according
Okay.
to the internet. And I feel like I probably don't need to describe what it's about, but
Let's just go in blind on that one.
yeah, I will say that The Killing Tree, you can see the poster. It's pretty great. It's got a skull in a tree and some blood. And it looks pretty ridiculous.
Sounds amazing. That's fucking amazing. Okay, so you heard it here first, folks. It's going to be Gremlins first choice if we can book Billy, if he's not already booked, because holidays are probably pretty busy in his work as a producer. Or The Killing Tree on Tubi. All right, my number 2. It's so unoriginal this year. I'm following trends, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, but they go together.
Hey, they go together.